Good morning. Something that I'm also learning in this chapter is unlearning the desire to be good, right? And I don't just mean like good in terms of like being a good person, like morality good, which also like I feel like I've worked past that more, but I also mean good in terms of like being good at things and how that desire kind of like blocks you. I feel like after a certain point from like learning and trying new things. Like I think we've already beat the horse on the subject of like gifted children syndrome, whatever the fuck that means, right? But I do feel like there are a lot of adults who were raised being told that they were great, that they were good at certain things, like whether it be in academics and sports, extracurriculars, and they took this persona of like, I am someone who is good at things into like later in life. But as you go through different levels in life, as you enter different environments, you're not always the big fish in a small pond. In fact, if you want to grow and learn, you oftentimes have to become small fish in a larger pond. And that transition from being like the person that's good at things to sometimes being the person that's bad at things, not knowing what the fuck is going on, is really uncomfortable. I'm a junior attorney. I was talking about this with my friend last night, and it kind of feels like being a 1L, a first year law student all over again. But it's like you feel like you should know more because it's like, well, I went through 3 years of law school. I took the bar. Like, I was an intern. Like, I should understand how to do things. But like, frankly, like how training happens in the legal industry is a whole different discussion. But regardless, it can be very uncomfortable, especially because like a lot of lawyers are people who have grown up being told that like they're very smart, that like they're great thinkers, and that like they're just good at things. And then when you're no longer good at things, unless you're like a prodigy, like period, but like I feel like we've been conditioned to believe the myth of the prodigy, that more people are just like automatically good at the practices, the trades that they enter into from the jump, which just frankly isn't the case. All of that to say, like, I am trying to unlearn my concept of self, my ego around, like, being a person that's good at things, because I feel like when you over-identify with, like, that desire to be good, to present to others as though you're good at things, when you deep it, it's also kind of a hierarchical way of thinking. Instead of, like, seeing yourself in community, collaborating to learn, you kind of see yourself as, like, better at certain things than other people, and you get a sense of self-worth from that, which like is very flawed. I'm unlearning that because I think it can create resistance to trying new things and resistance to making mistakes. But frankly, like the easiest way to learn is by making mistakes and to be corrected and getting your reps in. And sometimes you can read about something theoretically and learn, but more often than not, like sometimes you just got to go through shit to learn. I'm freeing myself from the desire to be good. I think now I want to identify with the status of being a learner, of being a lifelong student. I feel like that is a identity that I'm comfortable with accessing, because when you are a student, when you decide to be a pupil, it doesn't matter if you're good or not. It matters that you are learning and that you are reflecting on the practices that you engage in. So permission today to free yourself from the desire to be good, because frankly, like in a weird way, it actually prevents you from being good, because instead of challenging yourself to try things that you're initially bad at, you're stuck in the same position of like, I have to only be in places where I'm good, which forces you to be a stagnant fish in a stagnant pond. It's okay to sometimes be a small fish in a big pond. Like, frankly, don't you want to be around people sometimes, or a lot of the times, that know more than you and have more experiences? Like, think about it. Okay, have a great day. Bye.